Hello again, Internet. We've got a really good battle to show you here. This one's really special because it is a squadron realistic battle. So it is an 8v8, one spawn only, where each team is a squadron. So we've got your very own IBW squad here. We're following Russbucket on the IBW squad. And we've got the BH7 squadron as the enemies. So there's a couple important things. As I said before, you only get one spawn, and there's a maximum of 4 airplanes on each team. So half of the team could be airplanes. And what will usually happen in squadron realistic events is there will always be 4 airplanes, and they always seem to be Spitfire Mark 22s or 24s. Those Spitfires have really strong rockets that can really take out anything, and they're just really good turn fighters, so they can shoot down anything. The only limitations of vehicles that you can bring in is no Tier 5 vehicles. As you just saw, a casualty on the IBW side. Our friendly Tempest has been shot down by a Spitfire. At the time of this squadron battle, IBW's pilots and the planes that they had weren't their strongest that they could throw out, but that didn't prevent them from battling hard and doing their best. But I believe we only had 3 pilots instead of 4 in this game, and instead of a 4th pilot, we brought in an anti-air truck of German descent. I can't remember which one it was. It might have been a Kowelian, or maybe a Kugel. I think it was a Kugel, and this was recorded just before it was dropped up to Tier 5. Since this is a realistic battle, our players at the time cannot see any names over anybody's head. So if you see any red names, that's something we can see and our player cannot. And it looks like IBW's Air Force has become completely overmatched by the enemy Wyverns and Spitfires and has been eliminated. So right now IBW is at a minor disadvantage since they do not have any air support in terms of ground pounding airplanes or spotting airplanes. But it looks like Russ doesn't need a spotting airplane to see that there's an enemy STRV. He gets lined up, he's trying to take a shot before he disappears behind that hill. There we go, a good shot into the side takes care of that enemy. Ooh, and just as he runs away from after shooting that enemy, an enemy Tiger 2 notices Russ. Luckily, only his engine and a few crew members were killed, and he's able to roll down the hill. And it looks like Night Fury has shown up in a Panzer IIH to try to distract that enemy Tiger 2H. And that, I'm sure, as everyone expected, did not go well. Night Fury has been destroyed. But in the meantime, the Tiger 2H has been distracted. Russ can repair. And amongst the heat of the battle, IBW has captured the single capture point, and the enemy tickets have begun to dwindle down. So Russ's engine is completely destroyed. His transmission is in sorry shape. Hopefully both of those are being repaired. Yes, it looks like his transmission has been fully repaired. He's just waiting on the engine now. And I believe he's going to be getting rather antsy here because that Tiger 2H is probably hurrying his way around to make sure that he destroys that Super Hellcat that he shot at earlier. Oh my goodness. I don't think Russbucket could have got luckier if he tried. That Tiger 2H must have shot just through the very bottom piece of that armor of that Super Hellcat and just grazed the driver and the transmission. So he may be slowed down just a little bit, but he's still much more maneuverable than that Tiger 2. Looks like he's going to try to work his way over this large mountain and just to the side of this rock to try to flank this Tiger 2. It looks like the 2 friendly tanks who captured A have also moved their way over here to help Russ with his Tiger 2 problem. We can see that the Tiger 2 is just over here to the right. He's waiting for another friendly to do a pincer attack here. He can see the top of the turret. He fires in there, and it looks like the gunner and loader have been taken care of. But I still see the gun moving, so I'm guessing that gunner was already dead. And he had just gotten replaced just after Russ had shot him. So we've got Kiwi and an STRV moving head on to that Tiger II, and Russ is going to flank back around to the rear of that Tiger II. And it looks like Kiwi is taking care of that Tiger II frontally, and Russ doesn't see it here until Kiwi comes barreling over the top of that hill at high speed, just next to the carcass of that Tiger II. Okay, so it looks like Russ finally has a moment to catch his breath. It's been a very, very stressful 3 or 4 minutes here. So it looks like after that Tiger II, it is now 2 versus 2. It's Russ and Kiwi versus an enemy Type 62 and a Wyvern. So Russ is being very careful not to be seen and spotted. He doesn't quite know where that enemy STRV is, but I'm sure he has a feeling that it's going to be going for the A point, because the enemy tickets are starting to grow thin. And they need to recapture that point to stay in it. And yes, just as I say that, the enemy tank has moved into the point. Enemy Wyvern's back overhead. We can hear that turboprop. Russ is hurrying his way to a good flanking position over at A. Now we can see the name over that Type 62, but I don't think Russ saw him at this point, or it looks like, yes, he has seen him, but there is he's trying to make the best flank he can to this Type 62. But it looks like it's all in vain. That Type 62's got his barrel pointed right at him. He knows he's coming for him. And now it looks like it's time for a Mexican standoff. Oh, and just as the standoff begins, Kiwi and his STRV has been destroyed by the enemy Wyvern. So now it's 2 versus 1. We've got Russ and his Super Hellcat, and the enemy on the BH-7 squadron trying to bait Russ into coming over the hill just so the Type 62 can absolutely annihilate him. Russ can't afford to sit still for long. That Wyvern may still have some ground ordnance, and even if it doesn't, I'm pretty sure the cannons on that Wyvern can penetrate the very thin armor of the Super Hellcat. Type 62 is either trying to bait Russ here or show the Wyvern where the enemy tank's at. Type 62 shows his turret for just a moment, thinking Russ was starting to run away. I think that Type 62 might just be trying to keep him in place so the Wyvern can take care of him. Russ is down his loader, so he's not going to be able to reload very quickly if he were to dunk a shot into the ground or miss the Type 62 here. He's hit by the Wyvern, and the Type 62 shows too much of his tank, and he has been destroyed. Okay, so Russ now has one objective, and that is to recapture the A point. Once that A point is recaptured, he is going to win the game. The Wyvern's not going to be able to respawn in the tank and recapture the point. That is going to be very, very dangerous, because this Wyvern keeps zooming in and trying to destroy him, and if he sits still in that cap zone, there's nothing he's going to be able to do. The Wyvern is hitting Russ, slowly doing more and more damage to him. Russ doesn't have to sit in this point very long to capture it, so he's going to sit in here and repair. He's chosen a really comfy spot here to make sure he's not under attack, but that Wyvern's taking a good angle of attack here. He's going to be coming in here. This may be it. This may be the battle. And Russ hits the Wyvern with the tank round, but the Wyvern destroys him as he's going down with the cannons. There's nobody left. There's nobody left. Nobody's in the game. Nobody can respawn. The capture point has not been captured. What's going to happen? Well, since neither team has any spawned tanks or aircraft, both teams start ticking down tickets, and since IBW captured that point early in the game, they've won the game. What an exciting end to that battle. Good job on IBW's part to grab that point in the beginning. It proved decisive at the end of the battle. And good job by Russbucket, flanking that Tiger 2, destroying the STRV, battling with that Type 62 just long enough to destroy him and capture the point and kill the Wyvern with that tank shot. What a great ending. So hats off to those IBW guys. That was a great Squadron Realistic battle, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave a like, leave a comment, and I'll see you in the next one. See you guys.